open and we'll just... Well, hi, everyone. Welcome back and welcome into another episode of UnAnchored Boston. And, of course, we're always brought to you by Cold Springs RV, your source for everything RV. And we're going to have a great question for Zoe coming up later, sponsored by Cold Spring. And, of course, our good friends at Lexington Toyota. George Gray, the big wheel, we call him. You want a car, you want a service, you go see George Gray at 409 Mass Ave in Lexington. All right. We know who our guest is, but Lobel always handles the intros, Zoe. So take it away, Robert.
Well, he's the man that made Awaken 180 famous, and
back on it tomorrow.
Good. Glad to see it. It looks like you did it. You've done well by it. It's done well by you, but it's good to see you, Scott Zolak, former quarterback of the Patriots. You know, Lynchy, Scott knows this because when he played, I think one was Indianapolis and then one was Atlanta. Okay, we started. I'm not sure they were the right things, but I remember his father in the stands, and he won those two games. And instead of, we were going to change the name of our late night show from Sports Final to Zolak Final because he won those two games. You remember that, right, Scott?
Remember that? Those are the good old days, man. First of all, it's good seeing you guys. Miss working with you both. Bob, obviously, on Channel 4, Mike on Channel 5, doing the All Access stuff before that flipped over. Yeah, I do. And those were fun days, man. And we always had the TV and the radios on. So I always knew what was being said. Like Ted Sarandis pissed me off one day on EI, the old station, when he said, yeah, they're never going to win with this backup quarterback. It pissed me off against the San Francisco game. And I went to the fifth quarter. And that was my first shot. I went right at Ted Sarandis coming out of the box there. I appreciate, all your critiques over the years, you guys. You always fueled us and made us want to be better.
Where'd you come up with the idea to the gunshot? That
was always that. And then Parcells goes, put your damn guns away, okay? This is one of the Atlanta games. He's like, put them away. I don't want to see him anymore. So I went to Brisbane on that deep slant I checked to, and he went about 70 yards. I took an arrow out of my backpack, kneeled down. I shot it up at the Georgia Dome. And Parcells, what the hell is that? I said, well, you said I can't shoot guns, so I'm going to shoot something. So I took the arrow out of the backpack. He goes, you'll piss a lot of people off. I said, come on, man. You've done that before. So that was great, always going back and forth with him. He could give it. He could also take it.
Yeah, how was it? How was the plan for Parcells? Well, you guys had similar personalities. So,
yeah, he looked forward to press conferences. Belichick, not so much.
That's really?
Difference between those two guys. Yeah.
I remember one day we were down in Smithfield, and Parcells sat down. And he said, what's going on, Coach? He goes, I got a little scoop for you guys. Zolak has a girlfriend. Her name is Amy.
Got it. Yep. We just
like that. Amy is her name. Yeah, that must have been the worst thing ever happened to you. You'd rather get reamed out by some coach than have the head coach reveal who you're dating, who's now your wife.
I didn't hear the end of it. I got my ass kicked for about 2 days. Can I swear on this? Yeah, right? Because we're on a podcast.
Yeah, we're good.
I got my ass kicked for two weeks after that, man. And he goes, she ended up bringing him cookies after that to just settle down. He ate about half the plate of cookies walking back with Frank Mendez one day from practice because we had to do that long walk against that snow fence, if you guys remember. Yeah. Parcells would sign autographs. His standard response, if I sign one autograph, I got to sign them all. So he had that thing down pat. But, again, he knew how to poke all of us. And that's how he went at me through the press because he knew the guys would break my balls after that. So I'm broken pretty good. But, yeah, Amy and I finished marriage year number 25. So,
really?
Yeah, we hit the quarter pole. So, yeah, we had a couple years before that, too. So we got a lot of years invested here.
She was a Turtle Lane girl, Dover.
Yeah, she Turtle Lane, Dover. That's right, Bob. Then she was on Center Street. And I used to go to the Dover Country Store when I first started dating her to get the ham salad sandwiches. And they had the best raspberry lime Rickies there out of the old soda fountain where you pulled the handle. And loved being downtown Dover. It was good times.
You mentioned Lynchy, I'm not going off line here because he mentioned the Dover Country Store, which leads into my next question to Scott. So I don't want you to think I'm going off, I'm going all.
I would never think that.
Sponsored on you here.
You ever listen to my radio show? But we have no script. We're just talking.
Yeah, I know. So one of the last few times I was in there, this older guy came in at the same time, and he said, "Bob, I'm Adam Vinatieri's father." He introduced himself, which was really kind of unusual, and he he said, I just really want to tell you how much we appreciate all the nice things you said about Adam rather. And I was really blown away because it just doesn't happen that often, that kind of thing.
Over country store. Yeah, what's he doing there?
Well, I don't know. He was just trying. That's what I. But that brings me up to Adam after watching last night's game. I'm trying to tie this all together, okay? And, when Vinatieri kicks his 45-yarder into the snow, he does everything you've ever asked him to. He kicks the winning field goal in the Super Bowl, and yet his number's not retired. Zappy has his number of all things. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to get yourself in trouble with your organization because I know you work and you got to say you can draw the line.
Fine line.
It might be difficult to talk about it sometimes because you don't want to piss anybody off over there.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you, you know what I'm saying? Some of these things just don't seem right.
I get it, but Stephen Gostowski lasted longer here than Adam. And I'm not saying he's a better kicker than Adam. Adam's a better kicker. You look at Adam's history and winning a Super Bowl at the Colts or multiple. I mean, that's just different things, man, that have been done over the years. Someone's wearing an Edelman shirt. Number 11. Somebody will not wear Brady's. I think that's the one number that they said, other than Tips and, all these other guys that have been.
What about John Hanna? His number was 72, wasn't it, Lynchy? 73. Has that been out?
Yeah, how do we not know? Yeah, that number.
How do we know? Right.
Who else? Nelly's is retired. Bonacani, Geno's. I'll never see a number 20. Just certain guys you should never wear it again. And if we start doing Vinatieri, you're going to do Ty Law's, you're going to do Richard Seymour's, you're going to do Willie McGinnis's, or you're going to do Tom Brady's. I do think of that era, it should be Vinatieri and Brady. Adam got the thing rolling with the big kicks.
I agree. I mean, that was the trap game. How big was that?
About the snow kick games. Two of those in the snow.
Yeah.
We reenacted that on Sports Final one night.
That's exactly right.
Steve Biasi, myself, and you, and he took out a couple of those lights.
Lynch, you mind we play this thing because
be my guest.
All right, this was the Shaughnessy's idea of the best Sports Final show we ever had. Forget Bird and Williams.
Did that Bird and that's right.
So this was the night after. This was Sunday night at 11:30, whenever the show began.
It's off the
after the snow kick, which was the 45-yarder. We're in the studio, and wouldn't you believe that we had working for us, Mike? Well, you were the kicker, so you weren't available. You had your own show, so we had to bring Vinatieri in. But I would have really loved to have you there, Lynch. You would have been my first choice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If we all had it, I had to bring Adam in. But Zolak was the holder, which he was in real life. Diassi was the long snapper, which he was in real life. And they just happened to all be the snapper, the holder, and the kicker. And so here's what it looked like at that time in the studio.
Well, let's just do it. Adam, I'm sorry. Steve, turn around, get the ball. Paul, come back here because we got to see how it ends up. But you get behind me, and this is it. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Now, who calls the snap? Who says go?
I say set.
You say set, and that's when it happens,
And then I go when I'm ready. I look at him. If he's ready, I give him the go call. I put the hand up.
Are you guys all ready? I mean, you're supposed to be a well-oiled unit.
Like nothing for this kid.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Hurry up, my head's exploding.
Diassi. Okay. Oh, no, Diassi. What a pathetic. We don't have much time for this, Steve.
Well, that was third down. This is fourth down.
Can we get Shaughnessy in here? Right. That game is over.
Set.
Okay.
Jeez. Christmas.
This is live.
Come on.
Live.
Wait.
Ready?
I thought we said one snap, one hold, one kick.
Oh, this is for real now?
I get 3 tries too, right?
Right. Okay, we got to hurry.
We're only on for so much
Steve.
longer.
All right,
There's a good one.
Snap,
Here we go.
hold. Adam. Whoa.
Jesus Christmas.
And the ball floats in the crowd.
Was it good?
I hope so.
Congratulations. Thank you. We had 2 rules. Don't get hurt and don't get hurt. That was the 2 rules.
That's a classic.
Diassi
Classic.
snapped with one hand. He's supposed to have both hands on it.
You know what? That was your skill set. I hold the microphone. That was my skill set. And all I know is, you know what? It went up into the lights. The lights almost came down on Diassi's head. He had to duck for cover in his life. It was hilarious. It was unbelievable, actually.
Great. It's a great night in sports.
And you know what? Getting hurt was a real issue. We had to put a sheet down, Lynch. It looked like snow. We put a sheet down to make it look like snow.
Down for his foot to slip. That was
oh my God.
Do you guys remember the nickname Parcells had for Diassi?
beach ball.
Beach ball. Yeah, because there's all different colors in his face, right?
Different color every hour of the day. Honestly, I come in, you're red, you're purple, you're white. You go in the sauna, you come out, you're beach red. I'm gonna call you beach ball.
That's so good.
It's great.
It's a
so
classic.
good.
But just watching that there, I mean, if a coach watched that, there were at least 5 things that could have gone wrong. The lights would have come crashing down on DRC. He could have been scalded to death. He'd been cut. Vinatieri could have lost his balance and slipped before he had shoes on.
The sheet,
could have
step
gone
on
on
that
his back.
sheet, go right up, feet right out, Charlie Brown that thing,
Yeah, yeah. Zoe, there were 2 bad snaps that came dribbling back to you.
Those were my fault. Those are the snappers' fault.
Your whole broadcasting career could never have gotten started after that.
You know what? It's funny. That's how it all started. Because this guy got me into this business because my mother wouldn't let me study communications at Maryland. I wanted to be an architect. What do they call those? Studios ran in accordance with spring football, so I wasn't allowed to be an architect. My mom said, "Don't do business communications. There's no jobs in that, or mass communications." So I studied no communications. I had no desire to do anything, radio, TV, any of that. When I was done, Bob called about sports final and 5th quarter and game day. I started doing 11:30 game day with these guys. With Fat Felger back in the day, knew me, and Diossi, and we had fun doing it. We had fun doing it.
And Will McDonough was in the field, and usually we had a really great crew.
Yeah.
The teams were not that hot, but we were pretty good.
Yeah, and I tell Bob that all the time. He's the one who got me into this business. And if I didn't have those,
stop it! That's
shows,
just
I couldn't go back and watch those shows. Like when you hear yourself, or you heard my twang there, I had the Pittsburgh twang. My voice got deeper now. I think I've overcome all those Pennsylvania.
We've been married for 25 years. That helps.
Yeah, she don't let me leave the house much, so
Right. No, I don't. Mike and I we don't watch our own stuff either, so it's not. We had good anchors that go back and watch the newscast after they were done, wouldn't you, Mike?
When I first started, the first couple of years, I used to watch every one afterwards, and I never watched them after that.
Right afterwards, why watch them? You just
Butchie's the only one that goes home and watches them and has his kids around and eat popcorn. That's about it at the Stearns house.
There's his trophy in front of him. He holds a few trophies while he watches some of his shows.
Right. Steve Burton, he doesn't travel for any games anymore. He doesn't like it unless it's warm out, so he'll go to Miami. God forbid he ever ends up in Denver or LA. No chance of that. Hey, things have changed. You guys
doesn't have to worry about working in January with this team, which is really what we ought to go to a little bit about. It's hard to miss. It's hard to put the drama of the last 2 weeks behind us, but the news cycle has turned, and now at everything, a day can go and nobody might even bring up the word Belichick, and every day was everybody you'd see on the street was Belichick.
Yeah, everybody wanted him out of here. Now they're like, "Oh God, what are we doing now?" And that's sort of kind of the calls we get now. We're 24/7 Patriots still. As good as the Celtics are, as good as the Bruins are, as awful as the Red Sox are, you don't even know how much you're going to mention the Red Sox until spring training starts. It's all Patriots now. It's all people want to talk about. And yeah, it's a good transfer to Gerard Mayo. Gerard's a great guy, 7-time captain, been around him. I've done a lot of stuff with him. I think he's brilliant, but he's never had head coaching experience. What's going to happen 10 games in, when the bleep is hitting the fan, so to speak, and say you're 4-5 or you lost 3 in a row, how are you going to rate that ship? That's where he's going to be judged. Obviously they got a lot of money to spend. We got to get players. We didn't have players. It's sad watching these teams play divisional round. I miss divisional round. We were always divisional round. It was, okay, we're going to be 14-2, 15-1, 10-6. We'll still find a way to get to the divisional round because you got Brady. What we're really finding out is Tom covered up a lot of holes on this team. And we lacked some gaps of talent over the years, but he made up for a lot of that. Even his last year, I think we were 12-4, lost that wild card game at home to Tennessee, but somehow that guy found a way to get this team to 12-4. He knew it was bad. He knew they weren't a contender. And that was his last year here. Bill's had a problem with the talent here, and it's a 3-year trend post Tom, and all good relationships and marriages, they say this, in sports come to an end. It's 24 years. Tito was here, 9? And they say that's a long time. But Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, Bill, those are the guys, the only ones that got tenure in this league. A lot of teams switch coaches. Carolina's on their 6th coach in 6 years. It's crazy. It's crazy here.
Do you think it's bizarre that a guy like Bill Belichick has to go back? First of all, even one interview, a second interview, like he's a grad student out of college, and he's one of 12 people, as a finalist for this job.
I mean, if you get the private jet, you get the boat, that 20-foot yacht that he's got in the Virgin Islands. I think that's a pretty good trip for trip number 2. You take your friend down and hang out on that boat, listen to him wine and dine you. And I think at this point, it's Bill telling him what he wants. Bill's not doing this ham and egg, second, third interview, drag me through the mud. And I know people are saying there's not a market for him. Now you find out there's 2 or 3 more teams, one with the head coach, and I think is Buffalo in on him now. I don't think
really do.
I don't think he's – yeah, I think after the fake punt and their inability to get over the hump, that team's low.
How would you make it? Yeah, seriously. On one hand, all of a sudden you realize they only have 10 men on the field, and then you change it to a fake punt. You think, well, that's
like deception. That's a good point you bring up.
I mean, that's genius coaching. Isn't that like genius coaching? You find out your advantage on the field. Why not in a key situation?
Quarterback, let him run it if you want to go for it. Give the option to throw or run. But he said, I like deception, which tells you they practiced it, they called it, which is even more of an indictment. Plus, you got the 9/11 comments coming from him. That surfaced 7 weeks ago. The team backed him. They went on a 6-game run. I'm not saying that affects the game on the field, but that gets you on the radar with management.
No, it's a good point. I just find it hard to believe that team would get that far and then jettison the head coach. But I guess
it's closing. And you got the stadium coming in 2 years. They already broke ground on that. It's a hell of a stadium they're putting up out there, right in their backyard.
Yeah, right across the street, right?
Yeah, it's insane. They took all the parking away, put it right there. Yeah.
So I look at coaching aside with McDermott. I look at every team, and they bring in, like, to start with Buffalo, Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
He changed that team right around. Miami brings in Tyreek Hill. Changed everything right around with that football team. They did bring in Aaron Rodgers. He didn't get to play, but they had the potential to change everything. The one team that didn't do anything to change anything was the New England Patriots.
We gave Devontae Parker an extension. You don't like that? I mean, we all thought that was clearing cap space for DeAndre Hopkins, right? And that never came to be. I think the last guy they went out and gave that money to was AB, Antonio Brown. Now, he was wacko, but he could still play. That guy, even game 1 down in Miami, came in first play right down the boundary. Brady hits him. His ability to catch the ball is phenomenal. And you got to be able to deal with wackos like that. There's a lot of baggage that come with those guys.
Yeah, when you take your shirt off in the middle of the game and walk off the field, that's kind of an indication you're probably not all there.
Sometimes crazy is good, Bob. Sometimes crazy is good.
I know, believe me. A lot of people in this business have it.
If you just hone it in and be able to use the best crazy possible. I play with a lot of a-holes in this league. But sometimes they're the best players, and you got to deal with it.
Do they need to, will they spend the draft choice on a quarterback? So do they have to?
I don't think you have to, because I don't think this is a quick fix. I think it's 2-3 year fix. I'd take Marvin Harrison at 3, instantaneous plug and play, 10-year vet, going to be a Pro Bowler. You got Pop Douglas, you get Kendrick Bourne back. You got to sign tight ends. You only have 1 tight end under contract. You need a third down back. They said Michael Wenos, the number 1 tackle on the market, he's going to command $15 to $18 million a year. You're going to bring him back at that? You still got a guy on the left side. Trent Brown's not going to be here. The question is, what do they do at OC? Like, what would scare me is if they bring Josh back. I think that means Max back at some capacity next year at $2.7 million, because it's an easy contract and you have control of it. Not to say he's the bridge guy or carry guy, but if Josh is back, that's his old offense that he thrived in 2 years ago. I'd get Harrison and take one of those other guys, top of the second, or get back late first to sneak in there to go get a quarterback. I wouldn't take a quarterback at 3, though. It's all the pressure on the world and him, and you still don't have 2 tackles. You have nobody to throw the ball to.
Sometimes you don't know what's real and what's internet's real. Baker Mayfield. The question, did Belichick try to trade for him and was vetoed by the front office 2 years ago?
Josh went back when they were working him out. They were creeping up. I think his agent at the time, Jack Mills. I think Jack Mills was his agent, that said there's one team, don't fall asleep on, New England's trying to get back in at the top of that draft. And they flew Josh down to work him out again. And I think we were going to try and snag all the way up to get to number 3 or 1 to take him that rookie year. I don't know if they tried to trade for him. He was available last year. Tampa got him for $6 million. And he went out through 34 touchdowns, 6 picks. I mean, that dude's going to make some money. But that's the type of guy we need to find.
Well, he's a free agent at the end of this year.
But you're going to have to pay. He's going to be making 30 plus a year because, he played well, got that team in the playoffs and, had them hanging in there. They shouldn't have been there. That's a 9-8 football team post Brady, but they found a way to get in there. It's hard to put a lot on a quarterback at 3. You look at Mac's draft class. Other than Trevor Lawrence, every one of those other guys are going to be with another team in less than 2 years. Zach Wilson will probably be out of there next year. Trey Lance is in Dallas. Justin Fields probably going to get traded to Atlanta before the draft. And I don't think Mac will be here next year. I'd be surprised if he is. The only way he's here, I think, is if Josh is here.
What's the model? What's the model franchise right now? Is it the Detroit Lions? Is it the San Francisco 49ers?
49ers. 49ers, for them to overcome losing 3 number 1 picks, to reach up and get a guy at 3, that's the one thing that should scare you picking at 3. You're not getting the best available, the second best available. You're getting the third best available because it's probably going to go first 2 quarterbacks. Are you going to take Jaden Daniels or not? Unless he leapfrogs Drake May. It's the way they run it. It's the way they go out and get a guy like Bosa, sign him up, go out and get Bryce Young, trade for him, because they realize this is our window now. They got Fred Warner at backer. They got a ball hawk in secondary. They signed Christian McCaffrey. They don't care for running backs making 12, 14 million. They sign him, trade for him, and just Deebo Samuel. They got all the pieces. That's why Brock Purdy at 7th round can go and flourish in that system. Like that's a model franchise for me right now.
And again, they get McCaffrey, like I was make the point I made about what the Bills did and the Dolphins did and the 49ers did. He's a game changer.
He is. It's something you have to worry about because you could blitz Purdy and they get that running game going. Like that's how they won that game the other day was McCaffrey scoring that touchdown on that run. And he's so explosive, especially in the screen game too. And they got the big left tackle. Like they signed their players. Trent Williams, they go and get him. They got a lot of badasses on that team. It's one thing to go out and acquire talent like Dallas. Dallas is loaded. They don't have the coaching.
So what happened here, Zoe? Do we start with Ernie Adams, Nick Caserio, Dante Scarnecchia? I'm thinking of non-uniformed people.
When you're good, you pluck guys from your staff. Like you get guys plucked from you. Like you gotta remember, John Robinson went to the Titans. Nick went down to Houston. He was here forever. Monty Ossenfort was here in the front office. All these guys, Jason Light's down in Tampa. Scott Pioli's gone. I could keep going just with front office personnel. Who's the guy who was down in Atlanta? Name escapes me right now. God, I can't remember. The Spike Terror guy with the glasses.
Yeah,
he was the GM down there. Shoot, but you know what I'm saying. Then you get to the lower levels, and Ernie's gone. That's a voice Bill would rely on up in the press box. Josh goes to try to be a head coach somewhere else again. Matty P goes to Detroit. He ends up coming back. And then you give him the play calling duties on offense, which didn't make much sense to me. And you lose guys on your staff, the Chad O'Shea's of the world. Dante retired. That was huge. We had badass offensive lines when Dante was here. All those guys responded to him, regardless of how many injuries you had. Ivan Fears left, retired. So there's been some turnover. Coaching staff, front office, all that. And when you miss that 3 years period in the draft, those misses, those killed you because you had to go out and spend $250 million in the offseason 3 years ago, and half of those guys only hit. So you busted on Jonnu Smith, you busted on Nelson Aguilar. So not only didn't Bill misfire in the draft, he misfired on half the free agents he brought in.
You were born to do this, so you know that, right?
No.
Yeah, you were.
I'm trying to figure it out, Lynchy. I just turned 56, so I'm starting to collect my NFL pension now, which is good. I can work and get my pension. I can live with Bob down in Marina Bay at some point. I figured out how to do this,
Honey, he's moving in.
Yeah.
No, but I remember even when you worked with did some work with us on Patriots All Access. I said, to Matt Smith, I said, this guy's good. He was good when he was, and I could tell when he was the player. You were one of those guys that sort of paid attention to what we did a little bit while you were playing, and your transition was seamless.
Yeah, it took a while, but once you got comfortable being away from the team, then you even blended in more.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you go into college coaching if you're not interested in the NFL? Or maybe you are.
I'm not interested in coaching. I like being home. I like being around my kids. I know what those guys put in. You never see your family.
Yeah.
Divorce rates 95 or 75%. You know, when you become an NFL coach, college, you're more on the road. Now you got to fight the NIL game and name, image, likeness, and everybody's paying guys, and you can transfer without sitting out. Good luck. I think this is why Nick Saban left. Like I can't combat the NIL stuff. You know, Chip Kelly talking about it out at UCLA. Like the NCAA needs to fix this. Hopefully Charlie Baker will have a upper hand in trying to get that reined in because it's out of control now. I know 2 kids making 6 figures.
Didn't take long, did it?
No, it didn't take long at all.
Yeah, it's how about the kid? Where's he play? He just got eligible for his 9th year. Ninth year. Are you
Well, he's been hurt. He was hurt.
You got the extra.
first
You got the
5
hurt
years.
year. You got the COVID years. They're getting those extra years. It's crazy. Yeah, like you could take Drake May that comes out. He's only 22. Michael Penix is 26. That's a 4-year difference.
I would pray to be in college for 9 years.
The Animal House, you know, John Belushi.
Right, Pluto.
7 years of college down the drain.
Well, you can't even say those references now. Like I said, when's the last time the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? You know, these a-holes calling the show. That guy you have on's a moron. It was the Japanese that bombed Pearl Harbor, not the Germans. I'm like, these kids, these generations, you know, we're so out of generations now. I try to stay up. I try to wear the cool shoes. I try to listen to cool music just to keep my kids' friends around me, like me. And it's just, man, you can't bring up any old movie reference or you're a moron.
Very funny.
Hey, read this.
On Pearl Harbor. Can't say that.
You can't say that. You can't say that. You know,
You're like, what?
Belushi can get away with it, but Zolak can't get away with it.
Right. That's funny.
So,
All right, but Bob's
Go
going to
ahead.
read the spot, so then we get a good question for you after it.
oh, you want me to do the spot? Okay, good.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're going to ask you about this team next year. I mean, are we looking at the Red Sox and football, Pats? Because, you know, we're sort of satisfied with the one dynasty or maybe the 2 dynasties, back-to-back dynasties. And what else do we need? Now let the owners sit back and make their money. Okay. I'm talking about campers here. Get ready for 2024 with a new RV, recreational vehicle. Cold Springs RV is the latest in pop-ups, travel trailers, fifth wheelers, and motor homes. And when you need an RV or service, get to Cold Springs RV in Ware, New Hampshire. All you have to know, it's just west of Goffstown, which is named after Jared Goff, the quarterback for the Lions. Goffstown. All right, that's where Ware is. Go check out the all-new Winnebago Access travel trailers now on their lots. And don't forget to tell them Lobel and Mike Lynch sent you. Throw in Zoe's name as
right.
well because he's losing weight by every pound a day. Learn more at ColdSpringsRV.com. Now, Zoe, here's the question that Lynchy has, and it's always a good one. And it really, your answer will be very important.
All right, so we all know about John Madden hated to fly, and he rode in his bus, the Madden Cruiser.
Yeah.
So Cold Springs RV is working on a Lobel Cruiser, and so our guests, when they finally build this thing, we're going to give you a Lobel Cruiser to use to drive cross country. We'll fly you back from the West Coast. However, you're right now on this show. You get to pick one person, deceased or alive, past or present, to ride shotgun with you cross country. So you can be behind the wheel. Anybody you want is riding shotgun. And who would you pick to ride with you?
Tom Brady.
Really?
Yeah, I think Tom Brady, just because we covered him for so long, but he's so guarded as to what he gave you, and he felt like he was giving you a lot, but he internalized so much. And I've gotten to know Tom a little bit off the field, but he's just there's a reason he succeeds at everything he does, and just to pick that guy's brain and just to have no fear at anything, and to attack things the way he does. And I think he's going to be good. A lot of people they're going to have the magnifying glass out when he starts calling games, and there's going to be critics out there. And he didn't do this or that, but he'll figure it out like he always does with everything. And that's just riding with greatness, man. I mean, there's a lot of people that are past. I would love to ride with my dad. My dad passed a couple of years ago. It's funny you mentioned, the trailer. It was just during COVID, and we had to put him to rest in Pittsburgh. I rented one of the RVs to drive my family because we didn't get on planes during COVID because the fear of God was struck into the whole country about it. So we tried to stay within our own little bubble, rented that RV. That's a long ride from here to Pittsburgh. And But yeah, I'd probably bring Dad back too. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that he passed. So
Yeah, he loved you guys. He watched all the shows, man.
was that right about Indianapolis and Atlanta?
You're right. That was him. And he had the new Motorola flip phone.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
kept holding it up trying to get free deals done because he had my Rolex watch and he had the flip phone. So we're trying to work deals with Rolex and flip phone. He's kind of my agent at the time too. So off the field.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. You just mentioned, you talked about, okay, you picked Brady, which nobody can really argue with that pick. The question is, why did you say what you said when I can find out what made Tom great? Well, that never has really been answered. I mean, you kind of said it, but how can you?
The ability to work with Belichick and make it work at the end, even though he was approaching the end, but to put your personal stuff aside, and when you play sports and you see really good players, you have so many distractions. He's on another planet. Like him and Pedro, when they walk in a room, it's different. David Ortiz, like you got people all around you, and his ability just to get past all that, to have any negativity. There's never anything negative. Plus, we wouldn't pay for any drink or any meal, and everything would be free when this guy gets off the bus with me. Because you say, oh, he's with Tom Brady. Everything's good. You guys are good. Go ahead through. You wouldn't have to pay for anything. So my mind's already churning on the monetary part of the trip. People will probably give us money to show up to do appearances because he's there. I'd piggyback off that. Well, you got to figure out how to use people. Use them the right way.
Fair enough. That's good.
He helped me with my style. He's a good dresser.
Yeah, that's right. He could get a dozen suits. You could toss one or two to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yours. You get down and see Peeny get a haircut.
Peeny, my man. Lynch, you paying for those big bills down on Newberry Street with Peeny?
Yep.
Jesus.
So what's with Taylor Swift? Doesn't she know Brady's available? Why does she settle on this guy?
He's the flavor of the league right now. And you know what? You know what I love about Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce, their podcast? Because I think you get to see the real Travis Kelce there because he's well thought out. He's very articulate. He speaks well. And then you see him with the guys and he transitions to, I don't know, player Kelce, where, yeah, man, I'm the guy. He's like Joe Cool. He's a different dude off the field, I think. And there's something there with that guy. But, these podcasts now, you get a different look at guys from behind the scenes. And I think he relates better on the podcast than he does out there in the real football world. I like her, though, Bob. I've been to every concert. I spent $4,000 last year for front seats for me and my girls. We've been to every concert she's done here. I am a Swiftie. I'm a big fan. I don't like her with him.
It's well, none of us do. But I had the other thing that I can't figure out why so many people are like pissed off at her. So many people think she's like.
See, a lot of people I think thought this was a running joke at the start. But they were publicity stunt. All those commercials came out. Her new tour was being advertised on TV. She's opening up a new tour here. The dates in Brazil coming up. Everybody thought it was an advertising ploy. Then you find out as time goes on, holy crap, this is a real romance. And I give her credit that it can't be easy for her. Now, it's easy because she's got her own jet. But you got to set up security. You got to get her ushered in. You got to make time to go. You don't see him long. You guys know what it's like. After the game's over, that bus on the road trip, they blow the horns. He's on that bus 1 hour after the game. Wheels up, man. And for her to show up at all these games, I give her credit for it.
Yeah.
I guess it's different if you have your own jet instead of showing up behind it.
Give the league credit for it because they don't need any more help. Like that NBC bullcrap promo they ran on the stream. Show me more great plays in that game. Of the 7 shots they showed in that quick 2-minute thing, Tirico teased, there's 2 shots of her, what she was doing up in the box. Like, if you're a football fan, you don't need to see that.
I like
a lot of fans.
I like what Jason Kelce was doing in the box and out of the box.
Leave your shirt on, though. We know he's a tough guy. Plays center.
I didn't think that was a great look, but Dan
it's
said
like the Aussie with a shirt
out of the year, but I didn't agree with him.
As the late Tom Brookshire would say, what he has inside his belly, you could light a lamp for a month.
Well fed.
That's good, Lynch. It's good.
Having
your own jet is better than meeting outside behind the Dover Market. I can tell you that.
Right. That's right.
So, Zoe, who do we like in the Super Bowl?
I'm going Baltimore and San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think San Francisco's with getting Detroit out of that dome. And I just think Baltimore's back to the way they built it. You talk about, models for building things. They're back to what they were when Ed Reed was there, Suggs, Ray Lewis, tough, hard-nosed, black and blue defense, running game. And I think Lamar has turned into such a dynamic. We knew he was a dynamic player. Now he's a threat in the air, on the ground, on the outside, leadership standpoint. It really feels to me like this is Lamar's year. I can see Baltimore edge, and they kicked the shit out of them out there. Sorry, they kicked the hell out of them out in San Francisco when they played them. That was a beatdown. So I think they'd edge them out in the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
What do you think about this the Harbaugh, the connection, the whole Harbaugh world that's swirling around?
One guy gets suspended at the beginning and end of the year. I mean, you knew he's not going to last at Michigan longer. He's going back for his second interview with San Diego. He'll be in the league next. So you're going to get more of them because they're both going to be coaching the NFL again. Less shots of the dad and the mom. We don't need them. We know we did this Super Bowl year back when they played Baltimore. I think it's good for Jim to get back in the big league. Being an NFL head coach is better than a college coach any day of the week. Even though those guys are getting paid now. Man, are they getting paid. They don't bug me as much as they bug most people. At least Jim played the position a little bit, So.
Why do they bug most people? I don't know.
They're a little bit of a hardo, both of them. They get the chest out, they got the chest bumping and the bro slapping. People don't like bravado. These guys, these slappies, and then the old man doing the interviews. Yeah, whatever. Give them their time. They earned it.
The old man looks like Jim's twin brother now, I think.
It looks like if you took Jim and put that movie Jackass with the Johnny Knoxville and the rubber heads, you put the mask on him. Jim looks like that. Like Jim's playing his dad. Like he's pretending to play his dad. You're right. Yeah.
Jim likes to wear the gloves and warm up with the quarterback before the game.
Yeah.
I mean, who do you see do that? No one does that.
Who recruits kids, sleeps shirtless in a bunk bed with them? He did that for that kicker, right? Yeah. Weirdo, a little bit of weirdo.
How old are your kids now?
My oldest one's 24. She's an architect down in Falmouth. My other girl is 19. She's going to be a sophomore at UMass. They both went to UMass. Great in-state school. And my youngest one, we call him the Yeti. He's 14. He's 6'5", 220. So he's a big one.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sound like you learned a lot from them, man. You're like you live
a lot every day.
You live in their world.
Well, he can push me around now. The cool thing is we wear same clothes and same shoes now. So I can wear most of his stuff. None of my stuff's clean.
Is he a quarterback?
Yeah. Yep. Staying in King Philip. Yep.
Where's he going to play next year? Severian?
King Philip.
King Philip.
Yeah. So loves the kids, loves the program. Coach Lee, Brian Lee, old Wall guy, did a fantastic job.
Great job.
What, in Maryland?
I hope so. That's a good flight. That's easy flight up and down right there. I go right into Baltimore,
So we'll get him in the heart, right? Just wait. Call me
here. And you don't start that because Harvard's got enough problems.
All the help. We'll take all. Phone's always on if anybody wants to call. Yeah. You don't listen to me though. I got to hire a private coach to coach him. It's crazy. Won't listen to me.
Wow, so is he ready?
Start 0-6, right? But I don't have the schedule in front of me, but all I need to know is they're playing the AFC East, so they're going to start 0-6.
Who's that?
This local team, the local entry into the National Football League.
Yeah, I mean.
So now they have to win 11. They have to win the next 11 games.
Like if you bring in good talent, you give them good offensive talent. Like the defense is fine. Like 7 of those games we lost were 1-score games. Believe it or not, like with a chance to have the ball at the end. If you clean up some of that stuff and get better on special teams, the kicker killed us too. Bad year for the rookie kickers. The punter was fine. Chad Ryland had some issues. We got to straighten that out.
So why did you trade Vogt? Why did you trade Vogt, Nick Folk for this guy? I don't know.
He just let Folk go. He went younger. Nick's age, he couldn't kick off. Nick couldn't kick off. So
I get it.
Nick, you had to keep 2 kickers. One guy to kick off, one to do field goals. And I just think at this point, young team, we need to transition it. And those are the type of picks that hurt him. Bill, automatic. We had Nick. Maybe we win 7 games when you're in it.
When Tom was here, every one of those games where he got the ball with 4 minutes to go, you knew it was just a matter of when it's going to happen.
Yep.
He's going to bring them back. Now, the Patriots don't have anybody. I mean, if they pulled off a comfort behind win, it would be nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah, the Buffalo game sort of felt like a miracle.
Yeah.
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 And just you can't beat Washington at home. Like, that's the worst thing is you got to win the games you're supposed to win. We didn't do any of that. I think we're 1-8 at home.
Yeah.
1-8. It's horrible.
And what about Bill O'Brien? Why did he leave?
So I think he's going to get in the huddle at Ohio State and look around and say, wow, this is way better than what I had in New England. Makes his life and job easier. I mean, I know Marvin Harrison's coming out. They said they got 3 kids there as good as him. And they got 2 transfer quarterbacks in. Their line 6'6", 380.
You guys are coming in from Alabama, right?
Yeah, they're all coming in. Like that transfer portal, it's which flavor's the best, man? We're going there. So they're loaded up. And I think Billy's going to go there, call his offense, and sort of revitalize things. He got crushed this year, unjustifiably so. He's a good play caller. He saved Penn State, did some good things down in Houston. Billy's not a bad coach.
Yeah, you watch the body language with him, and especially when it was with Mac Jones, he'd sit on that bench, and you could just see him say, "I've done everything I could with this kid, and it's over."
Yeah, no vertical passing game, nothing.
None.
We didn't
I get so pissed off.
No third down back.
I know, but I get so pissed off because every horizontal pass traveled 40 yards for a 2-yard gain.
Yeah.
And there was nothing vertical. You watched every one of these games yesterday. Everybody's got vertical guys. Everybody.
You watch these games. That's why you get so mad watching these games. Like, look at the talent Detroit has. Now, the Detroit team 3 years ago was 3-13-1.
Yeah.
That's kind of the model too.
Yeah.
Get a young, energetic coach in, which they got. You got to figure out the OC. See, part of the problem with Billy and Josh is the old Ron Earhart passing game offense, and that was the offense I played in. It's hard to learn. There's a lot of calls, protection. There's a lot of changes. They call it reverse, the way we call it. So you have the play call, then a protection. The line checks out, then you got to change like 4 things during the play as a quarterback. I'd get rid of that and go with one of these young coaches in the McVay thing. Draft a kid and get him up and running. Make that transition from college easier. There's too much thinking going on at the line of scrimmage for the offensive talent that you had.
Oh, I agree.
Brady took it to another level because he directed everything out there.
Yeah.
Where's Vrabel going to end up?
Good question. I don't know.
I thought he would have been great in Dallas. Actually, I thought that would. I know.
I thought Bill and he would be great in Dallas. Yeah, that's a good one. Chargers maybe. Like if things fall through with Harbaugh, Michigan offers a ton of money, I'd jump on Vrabel out there. Young guy, he can still move the family. Bill's older. I don't look at Bill as being a West Coast guy.
No.
Quarterback's too empowered there, making $60 million. Bill doesn't like that.
Well, you think he'd be any better in Atlanta? I just find that really hard to conceive of
that team won what 7-8 games this year. But like Desmond Ridder, yeah, they'd be better because I think they're going to trade for Justin Fields. You put Fields in that offense.
You think that's the way to go?
He's got cap space, and he's got no media market down there to bug him. No pressure from the owner. And Bill will change everything down there.
What about McKay? Will you get along with him?
No. That's probably part of the hang up right now.
I bet it is, yeah, because he's a real hard ass.
Nope. Bill, he's not going to put up with that at his age. No.
His father had one of the greatest lines of all time. I went and saw Tampa Bay play the Detroit Lions in the Silver Dome in 1976 or so.
Execution.
And they were on their way to an 0-16 season. And somebody said after the game to John McKay, he said, "Coach, what do you think about your team's execution?" He goes, "I think it's a hell of an idea."
I'm all for it. He said, I'm all for it. Yep.
One of the great lines of all time.
Can't say that now. You piss too many people off, man.
I know. but you can be Belichick because Belichick doesn't give a shit who he pisses off.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother him one single bit.
I'd have a comment or two about certain things, and I would always say, "Hey, Bill, just in case this gets back to you, I said it meaning this. I didn't mean it the way it." Some people are clickbaiting at the sound. He goes, "I don't give a shit. Don't worry about it."
How'd you like doing the Bellustrator with Belichick?
Oh, he's great. Even on bad days when he lost, and there were a lot of those this past year. So you sit there waiting for it. As you know, we got the plays ready to go. What kind of moods you going to come in with? But Bill, when you start talking football, actually stuff about the game, he's fine. It's all the other crap that he's on guard waiting for. We get the long answers, the delay. He was always good with me. And, when I started out with you and made that easy transition, I knew Bill from the playing days. So, that's one thing I'm going to miss with that show. Moving forward, we got to be creative from another standpoint to do something with Mayo. So we got some things in the works, but
I thought Bill was
Mayo straighter. You can't do that.
Bill was much more user friendly when he knew that you had a football background. I knew that you had a football background, and you. I mean, and even with Burton, although I don't know how well the relationship was, but with Burton having played at Northwestern and all,
some of the halftime questions in the preseason,
those are what we right. Oh my God,
we'll fix those. We fix those.
Yeah, the fifth quarter is not going to be as much fun. They're going to lose a big audience. I'm sorry to tell you that, but
people are going to be bored.
No, there's no question. You had to turn over to 38 to see it, and it was must-watch TV, as Mike and I both know. And
especially after losses,
yeah. It was actually better TV when they lost.
It was. I understand that.
Than when they won.
Yeah. People now say, what do you mean by that? That's not like, well, when you're in the media, you don't understand that. Yeah.
You know how the balustrade came to be? At first, we had a chalkboard. Yeah. And remember, he used to draw the plays up in the chalkboard. We went 10 minutes without a break, and it was interminable. So we split it into 2 5-minute segments, and we talked for 5 minutes, which could be either interesting or it could be like pulling teeth. And then we got it was a telestrator, and a viewer actually wrote in and said, "Why don't you rename it the Belustrator?" And I never knew who the viewer was, to give him credit for coming up with that nickname for the Belustrator. But that made the show 1,000% better.
Yeah,
because he was into it, and he would pick a lot of his own plays, even after they lost like a brutal game to the Jets or somebody. And somebody would come down and they'd say, "All right, Bill's got 4 plays. He's picked out so and so." I said, "Really?" And he really put a lot of himself into that.
He did. Yeah, he took time because he had to research the plays, pick them out. That stuff means stuff to him. Those are the segments he likes doing.
Yeah, and you had you were doing the games, but I wasn't doing the games on Sunday afternoon, and if I might have been apple picking during the first half, when I came down on Wednesday to do a show with him, and he'd say, "Did you watch the first half, Mike?" He would know right away.
Yep. Can't no fly or whatever they say, no stone overturned on him, man.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the lines for next weekend. Baltimore's 3-point favorite.
3.7, I think.
3 and 7. That's right. 7.
Somewhere you get 2.5 now. Kansas City.
Fran's a 7 touchdown favorite.
It's hard going against Kansas City with points, and they got the quarterback.
Let me ask you this though. Your entire career playing and for most broadcasting, signs plastered all over the locker room coming in. If you don't go near a known gambler, you couldn't even mention the word point spread. And now it's every other commercial. Is FanDuel, MGM, DraftKings, you name it. Have we gotten past this? Are we anesthetized to all this stuff that's going on in the league?
Kind of, but you're a real idiot as a player. They come in and meet with you. They tell you, and if I'm tied to the team, which I am, I'm not gambling. I'm not allowed to gamble. Can't gamble in NFL games. So Bernie Kosar got whacked working in the media at Cleveland for it, close to the team, working with the team. That kid, Williams from Alabama that Detroit got suspended for gambling. Who's a kid in Atlanta, the receiver? Ridley, right?
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley gets suspended. You're a moron if you gamble in the NFL. And these guys were doing that. It's clear cut, man. There's no third strike. It's one strike, you're out. We're suspending you. You got to be stupid to do it. The opportunity to play in the league. But it makes you scratch your head. Then the league says you can't do this, but we're in bed with all the gambling sites, DraftKings, BetMGM, all of them. FanDuel.
You're not even getting into the college level, too. I mean, there are morons everywhere that are willing to spend their money.
Yeah. Gronk's doing a FanDuel commercials. Brady's got one coming out, I think.
Yes, he does. Hey, Gretzky.
Was it? Yeah. So
Brady, Gretzky, and who's the third one?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, right.
Good call.
Yeah, it's come around and around and around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They find a way to make their money.
I was talking to Upton a couple of weeks ago. And,
still do that, huh?
Yeah, I still do that. I'll get my fix. I wasn't doing much talking. That's okay. He was talking about owners then and now, that owners then cared more about the game, and owners now aren't really, the game isn't really the most important thing. The most important thing is, Peacock. That's a whole nother story. Television ratings, Thursday night games, on and on and on. And, taking care of the game, 17 game schedule, how it's soon going to be 18 or whatever.
Games,
extra plays.
Thursday night.
Scott, how long can these guys stay on their feet and stay alive, literally, with the kind of punishment that they're able to deal out? In here, the 17th or 18th week of the season haven't taken
that
off.
thing's going. They're going to stretch it out more back to Super Bowl. If that thing's going to go to 18, then you're going to get 2 preseason, maybe no preseason.
I rest my case.
That's where it's at.
Don't you care about the product?
I know what he's saying. Yeah, the Rudy's
product on the field. You guys.
I grew up in Pittsburgh. If you're the Rudies, you're sitting there in the old 3 River Stadium. We're just going to win Super Bowl. We're just going to win, win, win. That's all we're going to do. Al Davis, win, win, win in that crap stadium. Now it's about who's got the biggest house, who's got the biggest stadium. How do we expand the league outside of the game? Yeah, the game I think is secondary now. The NFL is such a big moneymaker that, your billionaires come walking into this thing to begin with. Those people are so creative, and the people they have under them that sort of advance things, content. You guys grew up in media. To see the amount of content people we travel with, taking pictures, downloads right after the game. It's all about clicks. It's about site views. Everything's changing. I like a remote. I like to just talk into my Xfinity remote. Put the game on. Put on Bruins. You got to go to a damn stream. What the hell I want to go on Peacock or whatever stream the Bruins are on Paramount? No, I don't like streaming services. My kids all have them. I yell at them to come in the room, put the game on for me.
Of course, right. Fix it for me.
I didn't watch a lot of Thursday Night Football because I didn't like the sound Amazon was putting out. It sounds like Al Michaels' mic's turned down and everybody else's is up. It's just
I agree. I agree.
I feel sorry for Al Michaels, but I actually did when he had some of those dog games on Thursday night. But it was like, what are you going to do? It's just keepers of the game, and these guys are not keepers of the game.
Yeah. The game's faster, bigger, faster, stronger. Injuries happen more. Like the Rodgers thing's freakish. Look at the amount of money Jets spend, stuff they invested there to build it around him. And
how many guys last night, first couple plays, go down? Helmet to helmet.
Dropping like flies.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I stopped silent. All right, I'll shut up, Bob. Lynch, you got George Gray.
George Gray selected in Toyota. If you're thinking for a new car, go with Bob and I go and have going for years. That's George Gray, selected in Toyota, 409 Mass Ave in Lexington. George Gray will treat you like a member of the family. Lobel and I can guarantee it. We've both been customers for, 20 or 30 years. I get a car for, my wife's got a car for that she bought 2 years ago from George, and we're satisfied customers. We call him the Big Wheel. The Big Wheel, George Gray's Lexington Toyota. He's a big fan of yours. So,
nice.
And you can see him at 409 Mass Ave in Lexington. George Gray's Lexington Toyota. You will not be disappointed. I didn't have a script for that, Bob, because I forgot it to bring it up.
I saw that. You looked really good looking into the camera. You didn't need a script. You're a pro. You're just a pro.
Spit it out. Read it enough, you spit it out.
Right. Totally.
The reason that Lobel and I never read any commercials because the news would be over because it takes about 25 minutes for both of us to read our commercials. Let me ask you this. The relationship that you had, you and Bledsoe and the teammates, with guys like me and Bob, the local media guys, it's night and day right now, right? These guys, very, very, very few of them have relationships.
No relationships like you do. And here's the thing. I don't know how many of those guys, like the guys that are on TV, make their way down to Gillette to be there every day. Yeah. I see them during the locker room time. Like you guys might see them post game, like quickly, and it's hard to build those relationships. There's so much more. The guys just look on their phones, like all content's quick video clips. Can't tell you last time I sat down and watched a good stretch of the local news to where, everything's condensed out to a minute and a half. You guys used to be the show. You would tune in 6 o'clock to find out what's happening in sports at 6:20 for a good 4 minutes, 5 minutes. You don't get that anymore. It's a quick synopsis. And by that time, everybody already knows everything. These things are dangerous, these phones.
They are.
Oh, you're right. Everybody knows.
You walk in the locker room, everybody's got their head down. There's no socialization.
I mean, if Belichick took a job today, the way I'd find out is right on his phone, right in my hand.
Oh, you did? I'd get the ESPN alert right away. Yeah, boom, done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was different, and I felt like I knew you. I knew Bledsoe. I knew a lot of guys on the team.
You have to go in and do the report right once a week. Yeah.
Yeah. And
we were going to name it the Scott Zolak Show, Lynchy, after 2 wins. That's how that's how familiar we were.
We'll go down there, do it live from outside it. Yeah. Willie Fairweather did Channel 56. He was on a plane with us. I said, "I'm going to win this game, and then we're going to go party after it." The camera followed me around all night. It was great.
What was this place over right across from the Garden, right?
He had the greatest party he built with Levy.
Yeah.
SJ, but we always went to the place and Clark's down in Faneuil Hall.
Yeah. And you know what? You guys, I mean, I'm not trying to pat us on the back, but like you could go out and have beers with us. Yeah. And you would be guaranteed that it would stay right in that room right there. Whatever you said, whatever you did, never was on the 6 o'clock news on Channel 5 or Channel 4 or the front page of the Boston Globe.
You're right. You won't see Greg Bedard having a beer with anybody. Nope, not going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, I miss those days. I'm glad I worked in the era I did work, because I made a lot of good friends in the who were ball players and members of the media, and I just don't see that happening now.
No, you don't see guys at golf tournaments anymore. It's not like it used to be,
Right. Absolutely
You're
right.
gonna get paid money to go to them, show up at them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
I'm serious. Yeah.
Well, hey, you got a Winnebago going cross country with Tom Brady. That's what you got out of this deal right here.
He's too busy. He's got to deal with his kids every other week, so he's not going to be able to pull that one off.
So you did a great job today. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys. You guys are the best, man. Anytime you need anything, let me know.
All right, so
we'll see you, Alexis.
You're doing a great job too, and I hope you like what you're doing, where you're doing it.
Love it. 98.
You're doing a great job, Zoe. You were born to do this, and you were doing a great job. I knew the first minute you came on, Patriots All Access said this guy is going places.
Yeah, if you're not going to be a coach, you might as well take it a notch higher and be a broadcaster.
That's right. I'm around the team. I just finished my 11th year calling games. We've done 4 or 5 Super Bowls. We had it good, man. We sure did.
Yep, you sure did.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, so
we'll stay, Cal.
All right, folks, make sure you follow.